Hi everybody. Today we're going to talk about toxins. So this is a buzzword. We hear it a lot all over online, different spaces about why you've got to detoxify your body, detoxify your home. And I think it's really worth diving into a little bit more. So what happens with our bodies is that it's first off very important for you to understand that we make toxins as a part of our metabolism. So when we breathe, when we have our hearts beating, when we have different processes of making proteins, of steps that the body does just kind of to function, there are products called byproducts that the body has to get rid of. And we do that. That's why we have detoxification pathways in place in our body via several different mechanisms. So we have obviously where we can poop things out, the toxins that the body doesn't need to absorb. So the bowels is one of our number one ways of detoxifying. And then our liver is the big one, where anything that gets absorbed into the bloodstream that we don't need, or breakdown products, typically that load will fall on the liver, which has various steps, different phases, we call it, of detoxification, where if it's a chemical, if it's a medication, if it's a product, it may have to be converted first into different types of breakdown products, and then the body knows, okay, now I can get rid of that. So one of the analogies that's really easy to understand is when we talk about like phase one and phase two. Phase one is taking the trash, if we just take the analogy that toxins are trash, bagging it up into trash bags. So that act of bagging could be things like glucuronidation, sulfation. There's different steps, methylation, that we do to products, medications, etc., to tag them so that the body knows that they need to be taken away. And then there may be a next stage, which could be pushing the trash out to the curb. So bringing these tagged products to a place where the body can see it. And then another phase could be getting it out of the body. So detoxification processes are pretty complicated. And for the purpose of this video, I just want you to understand the big picture, and that it's normal for us to have toxic byproducts and get rid of them. The issue that comes in is that we're in a world where our toxic load has gone up extremely high. So this happens because not only are we producing the byproducts that naturally need to be gotten rid of in our bodies, but then we're doing things with, whether it's personal care products, which is one of my pet peeves, everything from hand sanitizers to topical creams to shampoo, makeup, other types of just deodorants, toothpaste. There is a big business, and nobody ever paid attention to what was going to be able to be handled by the detox systems of the body. It was more whatever could make those companies the most money, whatever caught on, whatever smelled the best, that was how things were driven. And when we see them selling things in places to little girls, because they're packaging them pretty and then they have known carcinogens, that to me should be illegal, but it's still happening today. So having awareness of that, and you may want to check out EWG.org, Environmental Working Group. They have an app where you can actually be in the store and scan barcodes and see the level of safety in terms of toxins in products. There's also a lot of toxins in foods. So we know people are eating things out of bags and boxes, and there's words that we don't understand. And luckily there are people fighting for this now, because we can even look at some of our worst stuff, whether it's McDonald's or different types of cereals, and see ingredients in this country that don't show up in other countries, which again, hopefully as we keep complaining and raising awareness, that is going to change. But until now, we've really just had to wake up. You guys need to wake up, read the ingredient list. If you don't understand something, if there is a huge list, just stay away from it. And as a general rule, that's kind of what I taught my kids. If you see words you don't recognize, then put it back on the shelf. And ideally, you're eating things that don't come in a bag or a box. And then remember, even when you do that, even if you're trying to eat meats and vegetables and fruits, Those could be sprayed. They could be being processed, and the animals could be kept in ways that aren't sanitary and that use a lot of chemicals. So you want to look for words like wild, free range, grass-fed, and grass-finished. You want to look for organic, especially in the Dirty Dozen, which you can look up, but it's the top fruits and vegetables with the most pesticides inside of them. So start by really just looking at your environment, cleaning out your cabinets, cleaning out your pantry, trying to make sure that you're picking things that are going to have a less of work for your poor body to handle. Remember, not only do you have the byproducts of normal metabolism that your body needs to work on, but then many people have to take medication. And I like to stress the point, obviously the goal is always not to take drugs, but if you have to, your body, when it's working fine, can get rid of those drugs in a safe way as a general rule. But when it is competing with environmental toxins, pesticides, processed food, maybe tobacco smoke, other perfumes, chemical synthetic perfumes, then the drugs don't get cleared either, and we get these partial detox pathways where the bag of trash has been formed, but then it just gets stuck. It doesn't get pushed to the curb. So if you get stuck mid-detoxification, that's actually worse for your body than if you didn't start detoxifying at all. So really, again, awareness on how to remove some of these things out of your life. And we want to talk about your homes, because what happens in the home is there can be these endocrine disruptors I mentioned. So very often in your bathroom is where we find a lot of problems, but also in your kitchen, if you're doing plastics, whether it's Tupperware, especially if you're heating it up, do not ever heat up Tupperware. If you're drinking out of plastic bottles, a lot of times I'll see people freeze bottles for their kids and then they take them to sports. That act of extreme temperature shift, whether it's heat, it's sitting in the car, or freezing, when it comes back to a normal room temperature, will actually steal more of the plasticides and phthalates from the bottle, and then we go and drink it. We see this in things like our coffee, people using Keurigs where there's plastic that the hot water is passing through. That is not without harm. So we now understand microplastics are getting into every aspect of our body. So almost every human has microplastics. We're coming up with new and innovative ways to get those out of your body, but for now, at least stop putting them in. I can't stress that enough. Stop putting them in, be aware. The other big environmental toxin we also see in our homes are called VOCs, or volatile organic compounds. We see that in everything from cleaning products to paints to furniture. And recently, we've had a lot of people with damage from the storm, and everybody's concerned about mold and mycotoxins, which we'll talk about in a second. But at the same time, if you just go and have to rip out things, and then you're putting in new carpet or bringing in new furniture, that in and of itself may be actively secreting VOCs. So it can feel scary, like I don't know what to do, all these things are bad. But my biggest advice there would be, if you have the option to let any of these products, and it's hard with carpet, but if you have the furniture, the ability to let it sit outside in any way, or in the garage, let it off gas, let it sit for a week or two, that would be great, getting it out of the packaging. And just understand, this is another reason why I suggest sometimes saving up for a little bit more expensive, whether it's carpet or furniture. We see this a lot with infrared saunas, people buying them on Costco where the wood and the glue have been treated and then you're heating it up. You want to go for the products that have been proven, and you can again find those by researching online, to have less VOCs, less issue with the potential of it off-gassing or coming into your environment. And your cookware as well, you want to look for cast iron or ceramic cookware, because otherwise that can leak into your food if you're getting Teflon, which is another chemical. And in your home, so go through the kitchen, take out the plastics, work on what you're shopping for, take a peek at your cookware. And I want to stress, I know this can be expensive, I know it can be overwhelming, so I always recommend going at your own pace. if you can't change things out right now, that's okay. Start changing for what you may be buying, and you may be surprised. For example, a sink reverse osmosis in your kitchen is not that expensive. It could be like $300. And if you were to add up how much you're spending on bottles of water or bottles of sports drinks or other things, you could get that reverse osmosis. Make sure you add minerals, and you can throw in some healthy electrolytes, which we have a couple of brands that we really like, and you're going to save money in the long run. By far save money. We even now have countertop reverse osmosis systems that you can put in an apartment or in a small space if you're not able to mess with the sink itself. So clean up your water, minimize the plastics, clean up your cookware over time. Maybe a pot gives out, just have a smarter decision when you buy a new one. Look at your cleaning products. There are plenty of options. You can even make some of your own. There's been a lot from everything from like healthy bug spray that can be something as simple as like vanilla blended with vinegar and other things, like a concoction that still smells good, to those products that you could scan on EWG that are known and proven to be cleaner. So work on those household cleaning products, work on your personal care products and removing those and replacing them with healthier stuff. And then take a look at your air. So changing filters, many of us just get lazy and we don't change our filters enough. That just by itself, which doesn't have to be expensive, can be very helpful. There are filters that are a higher grade that are able to keep the airflow going without causing, without stifling the airflow, cleaning more particulate matter when you shift out to those new ones. There are higher upgrades that you can put right on your air conditioning unit that include things like UV light or even bits of ozone that can go in and help clear the air. So that's something that can be done right away. You don't have to replace your entire air conditioning system. So looking into light options, ozone options, changing out your filters, make sure that you're not using air fresheners or the dryer, the pieces of dryer air fresheners, those ones that make it smell good. I don't even know the name of it because I don't like them so much. I've blocked them out. Anything that makes things smell good, that is typically a very significant toxin. So you're better off, if you want your space to smell good, get some nice organic essential oils. They're not that expensive. You can get a diffuser. You can have that. One of those, they even have car ones, like little baby ones that you can put in your car if you really want something to smell good in your car. Make sure that you, when you put your clothes in the dryer, it's fine. They don't need to have a softener in them. They're going to be good to go. And if you need to hang them up to dry, like air dry, sometimes that is just, the clothes feel better. They even smell great in the fresh air. So these are a few tips that I hope are not overwhelming in terms of changes that you can make. Again, looking at everything from starting in the kitchen, going to your bathroom. Those are the two locations, and the laundry room where things are bad. You may also want to peek in your garage. We do sometimes need some of these chemicals and they can work well, but just keep them outside. And always, when you have the choice, try to search for options that maybe have a better rating, that are not going to off-gas as much. If you're stuck with getting new stuff in, find out if there's any way the company can open things for you and let it sit for a little bit. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. Maybe look for flooring options that are more natural, like bamboo or wood when capable. And again, there's going to be some glues and things. So whenever possible, if you're redoing a house, getting into a new house, try to stay out while that work's being done. Give it some time to breathe and then get in after that. And again, when you're in, you can clean the air. We've also got units that you can put on the floor, like AirDoc and others that we can list, that will help take the particulate matter out of the air and the environment. And don't forget plants. You'll notice in all my videos, I always have plants around me. I do that at work, at home, because there are many plants that also can be your friend in doing this. They can clear the air, literally. They help clear the air, bring out more oxygen into your space, which is gonna make you feel better. And then remember, when we free up our detox pathways, Some of you, if you have been overloaded with toxins and you're having specific reactions, which could be sensitivity to smells or to foods, or you notice things that used to not bother you are bothering you now, and you've been told or you've wondered that you've been toxic, the good news is there are ways to help. So there are supplements that can upregulate phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 detoxification in your body. There are ways to test genetically and otherwise where your detox pathways are, what they're doing, where they may need help. And what you'll find is as you clear out your environment and clear out your body, and I'll have patients sometimes have to go to the extremes of like colonics or coffee enemas using castor oil. Those are sometimes simple but a little more aggressive things. Infrared saunas, obviously one of my absolute favorites because that's a way to get toxins out. Let's face it, we're going to be exposed. We walk outside and we're exposed to toxins. So having something that's a more regular path, like I know 3 or 4 times a week I'm going to be sweating in the sauna, that's going to keep whatever I was exposed to from building back up again. So once you clean your space out, clean your body out, make sure you have a maintenance, because we're on the earth where there are chemicals and we may be filling up our car with gas or whatever else we're doing. But know that as you do that and free up the space, your body's going to do amazing, because then the normal byproducts of metabolism are going to be cleared. Your liver, your skin is going to clear up. You're going to be more freed up to have room if you do get some accidental exposures down the line. So I hope that was helpful. Look forward to seeing all of you guys in the next